Well, when I was young, we went to church, every week. But it was, it was a standard kind of West Michigan style church, quite conservative, quite, you had to fall in line essentially. And so I went, and I did have fun with, because I had a couple friends there, but I didn't really enjoy it. It was pretty obvious that I didn't fall in line with that church and what a Christian should be or should look like. So after I graduated high school, I moved out, went to college, and I just pretty much stopped going to church. I'd go occasionally, with family or friends throughout the years, but basically there was like 15 to 20 years of just not really going to church. I didn't really want anything to do with God. I had kind of had enough of Christians because I look a certain way, I present myself a certain way, and I wear a lot of dark clothes. I'm heavily tattooed. That doesn't really fall in line with what a Christian should look like here in West Michigan. My mom kept talking about Daybreak. Like every time we'd see her, every time I saw her, she would talk about Daybreak. My dad talked about Daybreak. And my dad doesn't really talk a whole lot, and when he does say something, it's usually worth listening to. So he was talking about how they were going to go into the stewardship series the next day, about tithing and stuff like that. I'd gone home, and the next morning I just woke up and I looked at the clock and I was like, well, maybe I should try that church out. I have time to get ready. So I got ready and I came to church. And it was Todd, his first sermon. It was his first sermon here. So, and it was really good. And I sobbed like a little kid. It was crazy. I sobbed for the first month of Sundays, I think, that I came here. Because I came back the next week and the next week. And it was just like this giant, dam of pain that just broke. They knew there was a lot of animosity left in me from the church we grew up in. And I think they probably were just praying for me and praying for me and praying for me all along. My dad and I had had not a bad relationship, but some strain from the past. And that was kind of really healed here. There was a series that they had done here, and my mom it was about forgiveness, I believe. There were people on stage with cardboard signs, and they had things that hurt them from people, and then but they had forgiven. My mom was holding a sign, and when she flipped it, it said something to the effect of, "I forgive you for hurting our daughter." And I just grabbed onto my dad and I started sobbing, and it's that healing of that relationship between my dad and I, because for a long time I just felt like I just couldn't live up to what I needed to live up to in terms of Christianity. The decision of accepting Christ was in one of those services early on. In that first month that I came here, there was kind of a call, like an altar call at the end, and I came up and there was a woman who prayed with me, and she asked me some questions, and I was sobbing, just full on ugly crying. And she sat with me and she gave me a devotional, which I still have. And after that I walked out feeling lighter, like something around my heart that had been clenched just released. And it felt really good. It felt really good, like a weight was gone. And my mom said to me in the ensuing weeks, she's like, "I can see a difference in you, in terms of my mood and less anger, and obviously things I still struggle with, but I have somebody to go to with them now."